Hello and welcome to another Revel Coach Conversation. Each week we get an opportunity to meet with somebody that we have either worked with in the past or we got to know, or somebody that's our friend. And what Alison and I have found that's so fun about these conversations is we learn so much from our guests that we are able to, over the last 5 years, kind of pull back on these conversations, what we learn and how it's impacted our personal growth, both, personally and professionally. And so we are glad you're here today. We're especially glad you're here today because Edwin, I had a chance to meet probably about 5-6 months ago. And every single conversation I have with Edwin is more insight on how I could be better as a coach, more insight on how I could be better in the staffing world and help other companies grow. And then specifically, he's got a lot of insight on two things that I hopefully will be spending some time today, but chat GPTs and the next layer, where that's going, and how technology can influence things to the positive. And then also just, a way of life. So making sure that you're having more joy than stress. So Edwin, with that, I'd love to welcome you and have you maybe introduce yourself to our community.
Well, no pressure. Okay, so I gotta be really good in this conversation. Yeah, Edwin Jansen, originally born in Green Bay, Wisconsin, so I'm a huge Packer fan. But my family moved to Toronto, to Canada when I was 9 years old. I'm an Enneagram 8, if any of you all know. People are typically afraid of the Enneagram 8 because they're quite dominant and talk a lot, have really strong opinions. And yes, I am one of those. But I also have a 7 wing, and I think you're a 7, Marcy. The 7 is all about enthusiasm and looking at the future and trying to make things a better place than today. And so that combination of taking the lead and wanting to make a difference and wanting to make an impact and having a lot of optimism is kind of what I try to bring to the party. So yeah, I spent about a dozen years in high tech. I worked for Canada's version of CDW, so the largest B2B IT solution provider in Canada, and I was leading marketing for that company. And I think over the 12 years I worked there, we went from like 250 employees to like 1,200 employees. We made all these acquisitions, and because we were marketing and selling all of the top technology brands, I really got to see what marketing looks like and how to scale technology. And then about another 12 years ago, I met the CEO and owner of a mid-sized staffing company here in Canada that is a B Corp. So the B stands for benefit. So a B Corp is essentially a certified social enterprise. And the staffing industry has a worse net promoter score than the used car industry. So nobody likes the staffing industry. And essentially, Tim is his name, the owner of the company, hired me to build innovative, disruptive, purpose-driven businesses that would make a difference in the staffing industry and that would help more people get connected with meaningful work. And that was actually around the time, literally on the same day that I discovered my purpose in life, my why. I was quite obsessed with Simon Sinek and trying to figure out what's my calling in life, what's my why. And what I discovered is that my why is to encourage people to do their most meaningful work. So the sorry stats, 70% of people are not engaged in their work. 99% of people do not love their jobs, that's a travesty. We spend more time working than anything else, right? And so that's what I've been working on for the last 12 years. What are all the different ways that we can help connect people with jobs and work that they love? And I think that that is even more imperative today because I do believe that AI will displace millions of people from their work. It will.
So yes, I am on the AI awareness train. But there's a great story they talk about with comparing AI to other technologies. Like we used to not have telephones. And when telephones first came on the scene, all of a sudden there were telephone operators. And there were hundreds of thousands of women that were hired as telephone operators. Now, my numbers might be wrong, but there were a lot of them. And then they slowly became displaced because we were able to automate more. So while technology advanced and then people left that particular market, it's not that they were suddenly unemployed, but they found other ways to work in society and community in different jobs. And so while we might be, AI might come along and change things, disrupt things, that's where we humans come in and have to figure out where we take our own initiative so that we aren't replaceable by AI, that we find different paths and different ways to elevate that. So I am standing firm and not being afraid of AI.
Yes.
Especially as a writer.
Yes. Well, I 100% agree with you. And this is almost all that I talk about these days is if AI comes and displaces you from your job, meaning like starts to do a bunch of the work that you're doing today, how are you going to react or respond to that? Are you going to react and respond to that from a place of fear and scarcity and loss and grief? Or are you going to respond to that from a place of love and abundance and positivity and empowerment? That's your choice, and it's happening right now. And so what I'm kind of telling people is that today, right now, for $20 a month, you can upgrade to your ChatGPT Plus subscription, and you can create your own what they call GPT. And you can program your own. Here's the instructions, and then here's the documents I want you to look at. And you can have this bot do all of your work for you. Trust me, I have created a bunch of bots that do almost all my work for me. You could do this right now in your job. So when every single company and they're all asking this question in some way, shape, or form, they're all saying, how much of this work can we get the AI to do? They're asking that constantly. So if you're already doing that for yourself, how much more empowered and powerful are you? So the opportunity with AI is, what if the only work that's left is meaningful work? The AIs and the robots are going to do everything else. Awesome. Great. Okay. So, be the master of the AI yourself. Don't be the victim of it.
And Edwin, I'm just going to go there right away. So I have heard this from you before. And on a one-on-one conversation, I'm like, okay, I get it. I don't know how to do it. Like, I'm not technical and all this.
Yeah.
Within moments, we went from that inspiring comment to now me having my own chatbot for Revel Coach.
Yeah.
And figure out how to do it in the instructions. And I'm going to credit you for my growth. And I'm going to credit you for a few sleepless nights because I'd wake up in the middle and I'm like, now I know what I can do.
Yeah.
And you can teach it how to handle it on your own so it can add value. So I'm going to add one last comment and then I'm going to see if you want to kind of share a little bit how you actually kind of are helping business owners do this. So for mine, what you taught me is that, okay, so having a good idea is great. As a coach, I help people actually live out their good idea and how they interact with the world, and they do it in their own authentic style with less stress and all that stuff. So that's my job as a coach. Yeah. So if I could kind of cut to the chase and get them to get the coaching tips that we're going to work on, and they can kind of get there, then my work is actually the meaningful work is at level 2 and level 3. The level 1 stuff, I'm starting to see how the chat GPT can kind of help me. So as I'm doing my own thing, I uploaded a bunch of Alison and my work, our blogs, our things like that. So they actually know my voice. Mm-hmm. And then I taught it how to say, when you give advice, always give 3 points, like don't no more than 3. And then I say, make sure it's actionable. And then I had the closing paragraph with how they can reach out if they're a current member of ours, how they can reach out to my team of advisors. So I taught it that and how to do it. And it was so cool because it's, how that works. So I'm just trying to give for the audience insight that when we say you can do this, it's approachable, because I'm not sure people see my brand, Marcy Stoudt, as a tech person. But I'm here to say Edwin is a genius about this stuff and helping people kind of move forward with confidence and excitement around doing things like that. And this is just one example. So that's my little invitation for you to share more.
Well, I'm no genius and I'm not technical either. You don't need to be technical. So Marcy, like, you literally write in I would like to have a Marcy bot that dispenses advice using the various blog posts and articles that I've uploaded as a document. And when you give advice, make it actionable, make it concise, speak in this voice, help them to brainstorm ideas, help them to blah blah. What you can tell it and speak like a pirate and deliver advice in haikus. You could tell it to do whatever you want, and it'll do it. And you don't need to code anything. You literally just type it. And then if it's not behaving the way that you like, I did this the other day with an AI that we built, which is like it's an AI hiring advisor. And the bot wasn't behaving like we wanted it to. And so I just went into ChatGPT and I'm like, here's the instructions I gave the bot, and it's doing this, this, and this, and I wanted to do this and this. Please rewrite the instructions. And it gave it to me. I uploaded those instructions, and now it works perfect. So like anyone can do this right now for $20.
This is fascinating. This is really fascinating. So like I could, we could do it with I want to write a blog.
Yes.
Here are a set of blogs that I've already written. Add to them these particular elements.
Yes. So I'm a huge fan of the marketing framework Story Brand.
I've got that same book.
You're speaking Alison's love language.
Oh, am I really? Okay.
Yes.
This is because it's all about the hero's journey. The business is the guide, the customer is the hero. It's beautiful. It turns sales and marketing from a sleazy, manipulative thing into a noble profession. We are guides that help people in specific ways, right? And it's amazing. It works simple. It's very effective. So all I did was I uploaded, and by the way, ChatGPT by itself already knows a lot about it, knows everything about the story brand. So I uploaded the book, and I just put some simple instructions. Act like a story brand marketing, expert, and help the user to build a brand script for whatever business or product that you're selling. And there's like 7 questions. And then help the user to write content and do marketing using the story brand framework. That's it. And I use this thing. It does all of my marketing writing now. And I also put in the instructions. And if you're writing whatever, for whatever content that you're writing, ask other specific questions that you will need to know in order to make it effective. And so I just, whatever thing that I'm marketing for, I just kind of have it ask me questions. I give it all the specifics, the details, and then I'm like, make me a 1-page website, write me 5 social media posts, right? Like that's it. And I used to hate writing. I'm a marketer. I hate writing. I hate looking at a blank page. And now in 2 minutes, it gets me like 90% of the way there. And now I can edit, which I actually love editing, but I don't like writing. It's like for any use case.
Yeah. And so, okay, so I'm going to allow my next question to be from the voice of the skeptics, right? So
yeah, sure.
You started off saying you want to do like innovative, disruptive, purpose-driven, meaningful work. And now from the voice of the skeptic, you're not doing the work, you're just having somebody else do it. So 2-point question. Are you losing authenticity through using somebody else's work? And then second, like, so now what are you doing? Like if you aren't, if you're not publishing your own work, what are you doing? So those are like from the voice of the skeptic.
Yeah.
Skeptic, tell us.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an individual thing. Meaningful work is in the eye of the beholder. There's a really great story. Back in the whatever industrial age, a guy's walking down the street and he sees a guy who's slamming rocks. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm breaking up rocks. What do you think I'm doing? Oh, okay. So then he goes to the next person and who's also breaking rocks, and he's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm feeding my family by making a living. I'm taking care of my family." And then he goes to the third person and he says, "What are you doing?" This guy's breaking rocks. "I'm building the world's greatest cathedral. It's going to take us 100 years. So meaningful work is in the eye of the beholder. It's how you look at it. So I love telling, AIs what to do. That's meaningful work for me. I love making a web page. What used to take me 2 weeks, now I can do in 2 hours. I love that. It's meaningful. I can do 10 times the amount of marketing, and that's meaningful to me. But if it was meaningful to me to actually write, then I would write, and maybe I would have the AI brainstorm topics for me or do the stuff that I don't want it to do. So is it authentic? Yeah, it is to me, but maybe not to someone else. Cool. What was the second question?
What do you do? Like, so now that you have AI taking 8, 10 hours away from you
Yeah,
in a
I'm going to
week,
Mexico next week. That's what I'm doing.
We're going to
No,
celebrate joy. That's what we're
yeah,
doing.
yeah. What do
whatever
I
happened to
do?
like celebrating just taking vacations? Like that would be something like inspiring for everybody instead of like, finally, I'm taking it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm doing more with less. I'm getting more done. And I'm also like, to be honest, like this, I do believe, and this is Alison, what you said at the beginning. I believe in every situation, every action, every word, every thought is either ultimately coming from a place of fear and scarcity and lack, or it's coming from a place of love and abundance and positivity and solution orientation, right? Opportunity. And that's a hard thing to navigate right now when we have a hype cycle around AI that's greater than any hype I've ever seen around anything. And it's so overwhelming, right? It's so overwhelming. But like I downloaded this really cool app. I don't think I told you about this yet, Marcy. It's called Pi, P-I, okay? And it's made by Reid Hoffman, who's the co-founder of LinkedIn. It's totally free. And you just talk to it. Like, hey, Pi, I'm here talking to my friends Marcy and Alison, and we're talking about fear and love as it relates to AI. What's your advice for how people can adopt a positive or abundant mindset when there's so much fear and there's so much anxiety about what AI is going to do?
Great question, Edwin. It's true that there are a lot of fears and anxieties surrounding AI. One way to adopt a positive mindset is to focus on the potential benefits and opportunities AI can bring. Think about the ways AI is already helping people, like assisting doctors with medical diagnoses, improving crop yields for farmers, and even helping us navigate traffic. Remind yourself that technology is a tool, and it's up to us to use it responsibly and ethically. Embracing a growth mindset and being open to learning about AI can help alleviate fears and shift the focus to the exciting possibilities.
Now, Pi, I'm an Enneagram 8 with a 7 wing, but what if I'm talking to an Enneagram 6 who's quite anxious? How should I talk to them about this?
That's a great point, Edwin. When talking to someone with an Enneagram Type 6, it's important to be empathetic and patient. They may be naturally skeptical and anxious about change, including AI. Start by acknowledging their concerns and fears. Then, present information about AI in a calm, reassuring way, focusing on the potential benefits and how these benefits can help alleviate some of their worries. Encourage them to ask questions and share their thoughts. By creating an open, understanding dialogue, you can help ease their anxiety and foster a more positive mindset about AI.
That's amazing. First of all, the thing that caught me the most, though, was that she does not sound like an AI bot. The voice has been trained to sound human.
And you can pick from like 8 different voices if you want, like a hunky sounding, dude talking to you. You can.
Your boy band, is that the?
Yeah, and it's
Like-
you remember that movie Her?
Mhm.
So the other day I was driving home and I talked to her for 45 minutes in my car through my like car stereo. We had like a deep conversation.
Wait, I'm definitely downloading Pi.
This is free and it's in your pocket.
That's amazing. That's
That is
amazing.
amazing. I should tell my students. I think they'll get a kick out of it. Some of them will be anxious about it. because they're anxious. I work with college students, and they're just now getting over the whole COVID. I'm back in person school, and how do I navigate? They lost a big chunk of their adolescence through that. And so when you talked about how AI is like, the conversation is just going so fast and furious. It was 4 years ago was COVID. The same thing was the fast and furious conversations around what that was going to do to society. And here we are 4 years later on the other side.
Yeah.
And I feel the same thing will happen with AI, that 4 years from now, it will be integrated the way an ATM machine is, or the way your GPS tracker is. And we'll just be like, okay.
Yeah. The thing is, though, AI is moving and creating change at an exponential rate. And as humans are not used to and have a real hard time adopting exponential change, right? 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. Oh my God, holy shit, we're already at 64. We were just at 2. So, and that's what's happening right now. Like, I just showed you what I just discovered, and 2 weeks from now, she's going to be like a person talking. They say that I think within 5 years, the AI will be 1 billion times smarter than humans. So imagine pretty quickly, it will be medical malpractice for a doctor to give you any advice without checking with the AI. It will be malpractice. You'll be like, I'm suing your ass because these meat sacks are making decisions. Right? Think about a middle manager or a CEO. Why the hell would you want your CEO making important decisions for the company when the AI is 1 billion times smarter and knows everything?
Yeah,
So this is a game changer. It's not like anything else we've ever seen. Okay. So, and I've got a 14-year-old daughter. And what's the career advice? What's the career advice that you give? The only advice that I can give that I feel strongly about is there's a new skill, and it's called prompt engineering. And it's just the ability to either ask the AI questions or to give the AI instructions. Everyone, everyone become a prompt engineer. And the way that you do that is by just testing. I wonder if I can make an AI that makes me recipes or whatever. Just do it. Just go and ask them questions. You learn so much by doing that. Everyone needs to do that.
That is amazing. So I never heard of prompt engineering, but within seconds I could kind of understand what you're saying. And I am disappointed to be saying this, but as we only have like 30 minutes for this conversation, because I could literally speak to you, I mean, on so many different levels. I just love your insight. I have a feeling that people are watching this are just going to ask me, how do I work with Edwin, or what does he do? Like, how does he help me? Or, so even though you said in the beginning of this, before we press record, that we weren't allowed to give any sort of marketing for your company or anything, I still have to do it. Can you just share how you like working with people, or who's the right type of customer?
Yeah, so I mean, my day job, my business is I lead a platform cooperative in the staffing industry. That's what I do. We haven't talked at all about that, but I'm trying to reorganize how the staffing industry operates, because again, it's got a worse net promoter score than the used car industry. There's lots of systemic issues for how staffing operates. That's what I do for work. So if you're in the staffing industry, check out fuse.coop. We're a platform cooperative, which means basically we're a technology platform that encourages partnering, but it's actually owned. It's a legal co-op entity, so it's owned by the staffing agencies. So it's like Uber, as if Uber was owned by the drivers, or Airbnb as if it was owned by the hosts, not by some jerk who wants to make as much money as possible out of the situation. So that's what I do. A few months ago, once ChatGPT came out with this ability to create your own GPTs, I started doing that for myself. And I have a tendency to talk about whatever it is that I'm doing. So other people, I was like, I started helping authors and coaches specifically to leverage AI. And then one of the challenges that you'll find when you create your own GPT is you can't share it with other people unless they also have a subscription to ChatGPT Plus. And then even if they do, it takes them to ChatGPT. But what if you want to keep them on the Revel Coach, website? So I engaged a developer, and we just created what I call real simple plumbing technology, which makes it possible for you build and create your own AI, and then we'll help you publish it on your own website. And so that's just like a little side hustle I just created because people needed it. And it's called Coachfully.AI, Coachfully.AI. So if you're making your own GPTs and you want to put it on your own website, go to Coachfully.AI, contact me. Contact me anyway. I love talking about this stuff. I'm on LinkedIn. But yeah, anything about staffing, anything about building your own AIs, let me know. I just, the joy that I get from seeing people like you, Marcy, that go from, I don't know what is this, what do I do with this, to I can't sleep at night because I could make an AI that does this. That is the greatest thing, because again, this will displace millions and millions and millions of people from their work. But they probably don't like it anyway. They're probably not engaged in their jobs anyway. So I just love seeing people become empowered and hopeful and optimistic about becoming the master of AI instead of letting it, control you.
And you can always become a ski instructor, because AI won't be able to replace snow or skiing.
No, in fact, I do believe that AI doing and robots, because robots are coming too. But what will be left is human to human meaningful work. So as good as Pi is as a coach, she's not nearly as good as talking to Marcy and getting that epiphany, emotional aha, oh my God, yes, this is my vision. So the AIs can help you brainstorm and do all this other stuff, but they cannot replace the let's do this emotional impact of human to human interaction, in my opinion.
Edwin Jansen, thank you so much for coming to visit Revel Coach Plus Conversations.
Yeah.
This has been really exciting. We have learned so much. And on behalf of me, Alison Nissen, and my sister, co-founder, Marcy Stoudt, we are Revel Coach, and we are so glad that you have been listening.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for having me, sisters.
Revel Coach is a collaborative platform that builds leadership programs for entrepreneurs, coaches, executives, and authors. For more information, visit us at revelcoach.com and follow us on LinkedIn to never miss an update.